Hello world, Patricia O'Connor and Frida Reba Darcy here today on the Bonsai balcony. We have ourselves a lovely blustery winter day, almost borderline, feels kind of spring. You know how when it gets to be sort of borderline spring, but it's still cold and stuff because it's like blustery? That's kind of what it's like. I should be happy that it's warm, but the breeze carries cold air, like cold air is on its way. Otherwise, it's the 60s, a little overcast, kind of an interesting day. On the bonsai balcony, I was looking at these bald cypress trees earlier, and it has been warm enough, long enough, that they are beginning to question the seasons. I'm seeing these bumps raise up, and a couple of them have risen, which is to say that they are protruding out enough. It's like a little exploratory. Is it spring yet? It's not. It's not spring yet, even if you make little tiny buds to see, because we still have February to go, and in a few days it could be very, very cold here. I've even heard a rumor. So we have that to I wouldn't expect that to make it. We have that to look forward to, and or not. But it is winter. It's, so that's just stuff doing what it should be doing this time of year for January 24th, I think, maybe 24th. So yeah, it's a nice day here on the bonsai balcony. It is our winter, and what's going on winter? Well, for us, this time of year, the window begins to open on repotting our pines. That's one thing and other species. And that's one thing that opens up for us. I have yet to start to see my oaks responding with these little salmon red shoots that it'll come out with to tell us that it's pushing forth buds. That'll be when that guy is telling us, or those guys are telling us, that they're well and truly awake from spring. So in the meantime, what are the trees doing while they're doing that? We kind of think of them as being dormant. Yes and no. Excuse me. Yes and no. Here, where I am located in the Bay Area, I doubt if I get a full dormancy out of most of these trees. There's just too many days in January and February where our temperatures are still hanging out at around the 60s. So high 50s, low 60s even. So for that reason, for instance, I feed year-round on my trees that are, if they're awake, I want to if they wake up or going in and out of dormancy, I want stuff available to them. Also, it's not like dormancy is a complete shutdown. During this time of year, we're making roots. My cypress trees, for instance, and my oaks and some other trees will show an increase in girth during this time. When we don't see an increase of foliage, we may see a little fattening up of the trunks. We may see a little heaving of the ground as the roots get bigger. And we might just see our trunks begin to fatten up from tip to toe. So it is still a productive time for the trees, and it's the time of year that sets our trees up for what will be going on through the rest of the year. What we do now in the way of root growth is what we'll be building tree off of come spring. So really important time for trees. It's just a really good time. I'm trying to go through here with my little piece of bamboo and remove some dead needles. And this is just a good time to go through and remove dead needles. This would be a good time to clean up our trees. This would be a good time to repot some pine trees. This is also a time when we see a lot of our third year needles can go. Our second year needles may be looking a little yellow from their winter color. And so we're seeing some of that, but also we're seeing our little trees are just doing what young, vibrant little trees do. They're just kind of exploding. We've had real good luck with our seedlings. This is our little experiment. This guy's looking a little pale, but it is taking off, and it's pushing out a little candle at the top. The one behind it that's in the colander looks has better color. It does have better color, and it's making quite a few candles. It's just putting out those little guys. So, this is a good time. This is a good time to do cleanup. This is a good time to do repot. This is not a time that everything just completely stops what it's doing. And look at that! All of these little Kodaheim maples got little red buds coming out. These little guys think we're done with winter. With so much of January and all of February left to go, I would not be that cocky. I would not necessarily be that cocky. And I think the Dawn Redwood has, it's hard to tell because it always has these guys all over it. But I don't see them coming any closer to opening. And I do think that some of these ones that it made earlier in the spring are probably not vital now. So we'll see. We'll just see how all this pans out. That doesn't look like something. No, this is, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't. I thought about leaving that on there if it was going to make it, but that was of a size where it didn't look to be the right color to tell me that it had like lignified enough to become a wrench. These guys show to be the right color. So I think we're here in the Bay Area. We're close to some of our trees thinking it's spring, whether it is or not. The question is, if they go ahead and bud out, which is something that would happen, I think, with another week or so of this, that would be a strong possibility. Would we be able to keep that? We would lose energy from making a round of foliage and then losing it. I don't tend to lose. Things don't freeze here. They will have. We can get foliage come out. New foliage will come out, and then if we get in the low 50s, high 40s, or mid 40s, and that stuff will turn purple, and it'll carry that off color from then on that until it replaces that foliage, is what I should say, until next season, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of where we are, but it's not like we're free of anything to do. This is also, if you want to be free of anything to do, this could be the time to kick it. You don't really have to do anything to a tree that's not making any buds right now, but just keep it watered. And these guys are still going through quite a bit of water. This guy had slowed down its water intake in the last couple of weeks, but today it needed a lot of water. We just watered it a lot yesterday. So it's been enjoying these temperatures, and some that was something else that I was thinking about. Its uptake of water has me wondering whether or not it's waking up. And this is also the time where we should keep an eye out on these. If we're going to notice some new growth there, this could be happening. This could be being triggered right now. So as far as my balcony is concerned here, we've kind of entered a state where I've noticed in the last couple of days that our water intake has increased. it hasn't been that windy to justify that sort of intake. So I would kind of say leaning more towards that being the trees doing, so they're being active, and yeah. Just a little look at some of our Ponderosas that we put motion in after we ordered them. This is not going to be that long of a show, but that's quite okay. We've been doing some longer shows here lately. I really love the way these Ponderosas have turned out. I find that they're not quite as pliable or as forgiving as the Japanese black pines are. And if you put a crack in one, you definitely want to put the cut paste to it. And then, if I had a greenhouse, that might be a good time to do that. We don't have a greenhouse, but then also we do have walls that'll keep us out of the wind as much as we can, and we also have a roof overhead, so that keeps us from getting direct sun, which is kind of a bummer. But we were able to replace that with lights that shine at our disposal. We get to dictate the length of day, and all that good stuff. So that's all working out. I hope those Trident Maples, are going to be okay with the foliage. Also, I just pulled off some old foliage that never quite died on these guys, and I saw dust come off of them, and that wasn't dust, that was PM. So if the new foliage that does bust out is going to have a chance, I should probably give those guys a little hose in here in a minute with my latest concoction, which is Dawn and Neem. That sounds like a... Anyway, that's kind of what's going on there. It looks like some guys are getting ready to start cooking at the pool. That'll be nice. The aroma should be something. While here, Frida and I are about to do a pot roast, because that's kind of that's our speed. But this has kind of been just a little quickie on winter and what winter is like here in our little part of California. Nobody totally, I think, goes dormant the way they should. That would be a concern for this Ponderosa. We are less than a month away from going and getting some more grafts on this guy. I'm really looking forward, really excited about that. Meanwhile, its uptake of water has been kind of picked up also about to the same tune that these guys did. I just watered it earlier today, put it back on the block. But I haven't been seeing it as bad since I removed that topsoil. I've been noticing that that top dressing, removing that loose stuff on top, seemed to help, and then agitating the topsoil that we had there so that that seems to dry out faster now. Or it might be that the tree is just went dormant, and that was the speed at which it took up water when it was dormant. So any and all could be partially true, but that's a quick look at this guy. I want to show you. I can see, yeah, that's our graft there that took hold, and you can see in the foreground and in the background to the right, there are two that didn't in this frame. That's the good one. It's growing pointy kind of, and as it grows, I could see us just continuing the motion with that branch. Now the thing is, these grafts that take, and the ones that become part of the, at first, any grafts that take will become part of the tree, will become part of the energy, will be used to increase the energy of the tree, and to that end, we will start taking off stuff, Ponderosa stuff. And that comes before we've ever made any decisions. If we have a chance to make choices over which grafts to take in lieu of some others to get rid of, we wouldn't be doing that for a while. We would allow it the most possible energy coming from our pine grafts to take hold. So that's kind of the rule. They're just really excited to add that to the process and get this guy going so that I won't have to worry about overwintering it anymore, nor will I have to worry about it running itself into the ground with the amount of energy that it's taken by not going dormant, because it's not in Deadwood, South Dakota anymore. So that's kind of what's going on there. And yeah, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. We will likely do Saturday Night Live Bonsai tonight, and that's just something that we enjoy doing, our little live show, which is those are fun to do. Those are always fun, and I appreciate you, and Frida appreciates you, and thank you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Here, yeah, a little chow down, little Frida. Yeah.